looks like we're a little too early. Could we, like, maybe, I don't know, speed this up a little bit? Whoa! Too far! Too far! Wow, look at all these Indians having advanced civilizations and agency and eating porn.
It'd be a shame if someone were to interact.
It's time for
European colonization.
Give us all of your gold, said the Spanish. No, said the Indians. Okay, said the Spanish, killing the Indians and taking the gold anyways.
The Spanish then started to spread their religion like butter.
Oh, and they developed the encomienda system.
How about no?
Said the Pueblo Indians. And that was the end of slavery. No mas. All done. The end.
And not quite. Then the British decided to start
White slavery.
With all these heads, the Europeans needed more land. About 50 acres per head. Yeah, that sounds right. Head right.
That's too expensive. How about we import people from Africa who have no say in what they do, and then we can force them to work for us with no pay? Yeah, let's do it.
Triangular trade. Columbian exchange.
Transatlantic slave trade!
Meanwhile, in the north, the Puritans are becoming puritanical. Or were they?
We can make a DBQ out of this.
No! On the home front, the British were getting feisty.
The French and Indians weren't a huge fan of this, thus starting the
French and Indian War.
Oi, we need more money, said the British, taxing the colonists.
Oi, we need independence, said the colonists, taking their independence from the British.
With the leadership of George Washington, who was very tall, the colonists created the United States. Hamilton then gives a 6-hour speech at the Continental Congress.
Oh hey, there's National Bank. Let's name it after a long car.
Thomas Jefferson then purchases a very large piece of land, going against his own principles of strict interpretation of the Constitution.
Peacefully, the presidents went under a peaceful transition of power.
Wow, everyone is feeling pretty good. Must be the era of good feelings.
And then came the War of 1812. Wait, what happened there?
I don't know, I think there was like ships in the war.
People died.
I don't know! Hey, we can make a national anthem out of this.
Time for sectionalism. Oh wait, it's just Missouri Compromise.
Oh hey look, it's Andrew Jackson, and he supports states' rights.
So that means we have right to secede?
No, that's not your right as a state.
The scientific ideals of the Enlightenment began the moral and religious-driven Second Great Awakening, which led to reforms in places such as
Prisons!
The Compromise of 1850 helped sort out the sectional problem. Well, not really.
Ay, Chihuahua, the Mexican-American War has increased sectional tensions and led to debates over slavery and popular sovereignty.
Some guy named Abe Lincoln became president. No thank you, said the South, who hated Abe Lincoln, becoming their own country.
Then, a small conflict called the Civil War happened where the North fought the South over the issue of slavery. In the end, slavery was decided to be a bad thing and was eradicated.
Hey, we're trying to record here. Oh, it's the Reconstruction. They're just rebuilding the South. Well, that was a splendid failure.
The Compromise of 1877 ended Reconstruction and gave Rutherford B. Hayes the presidency.
However, as economic growth, grew, an increase of immigrants created a new nativist sentiment. Because America is a land of freedom and opportunity,
They closed the borders to all Chinese in the Chinese Exclusion Act.
America was feeling pushy and decided to blame Spain for exploding a ship that Spain didn't explode. Now they have Cuba and the Philippines.
Imperialism!
Philippine no, said the Philippines, attacking the Americans.
Let's ignore that and progress into the new era, said the US government. Oh hey, it's the progressive era. Many people hated the big businesses and demanded government intervention. During this time, Roosevelt used his big stick to control the Panama Canal area. However, with the decrease of isolationism, they gave the canal back to the Panamanians.
Stop sinking our ships, said the US. Okay, said Germany, sinking the Lusitania. Woodrow Wilson, under the policy of neutrality, gets the US involved in World War I.
Here comes the Roaring Twenties! Money, fun, parties, alcohol abuse. Whee!
You like jazz?
Hey, we can make a movie out of this.
A little party never killed nobody.
Meanwhile, in Harlem, black people are becoming more cultured. Isn't that fun?
Now women can vote. Cool. Oh, and barely anyone can come into the country. The economy just fell apart.
Oops, said Herbert Hoover.
Don't worry, I'm here to save the day, said FDR. New Deal!
It's time for a bang.
Holiday! Celebrate!
It's time for alphabet soup. I mean, the New Deal. AAA, PWA, SEC, and even CCC. And you can't forget WPA, Social Security, and Good Neighbor Policy.
Like a good neighbor, FDR's there.
Americans thought they could stay neutral. Germany has been sinking ships again. This time with Unterseeboot. Hitler makes many mistakes.
The Japanese decided that it was a good idea to bomb Pearl Harbor. This led to American participation in World War II.
The end of World War II brought containment, which involved stopping Russia's spread of the glorious economic development known as communism. To help this, the US created the Marshall Plan and the Truman Doctrine, but went a little overboard and started the Cold War.
You are a communist, you are a communist, and you are a communist. Everyone is a communist!
A dramatic conflict ensued in Korea that involved a high military confrontation and ended in a stalemate. Don't cross the border, or you'll blow up. The US was still not sick of fighting wars and tried to contain communism in Vietnam. However, this had a very bad outcome because many died and people began to push against internationalism.
In 1964, the Civil Rights Act was passed, marking a significant turning point in African Americans' lives by giving them the freedoms supposedly gained in the 1800s.
Society is starting to look great thanks to Lyndon B. Johnson's discrimination reform.
In a period of peace and de-escalation of arms called détente, Nixon visits the Soviet Union and China to try and negotiate. Well, that didn't work. Is that a nuclear missile about to launch? Nah, it's just a space race. Go Russia, go USA!
In the Watergate scandal, Nixon gets screwed over and resigns in order to try and save his reputation. Not that he had one to begin with.
Ronald Reagan ran for president. People were skeptical because he was a man of faith and a movie star. Nonetheless, he was elected, just like some other famous TV movie star. According to Ronald Reagan, a government figure,
government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Reagan created a very modestly named economic system called Reaganomics, which promoted tax cut and laissez-faire philosophy.
I'll never sell weapons to terrorists, said Ronald Reagan, selling weapons to terrorists.
Bill Clinton did some political stuff, but he's most known for his, well, let's move on.
Unfortunately, a terrorist group flew planes into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, causing an increase in overseas interaction and heightened restrictions on U.S. planes and immigration. Like weapons, you know?
Spanish.